Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yulia Alawiyah, student at Surya Kancana University, English Education Study Program. This time, I will review a journal with the title is Determinants of Islamic Bank Share Price Fluctuation During the COVID-19 Pandemic, the case of BTPN Syariah Bank Shares, written by Farhan Lauda, Resta Fitri, and Koryatul Hasanah. This journal is published by Al-Iqtisad, Journal of Islamic Economics, in 2021, Volume 13, Number 2, page 255 to page 274. These journal articles consist of 5 parts. There are abstract, introduction, research method, findings and discussion, and the last, conclusion. Okay, go to the first discussion is abstract summary. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused a decline in the performance of the national economy. However, the share price of Islamic banks, especially the BTPN Syariah Bank, has continued to grow. This study aims to identify and evaluate the variables affecting BTPS stock price fluctuation. Using the factor error correction model, the results show that in the short term, only the Jakarta Composite Index variable had a significant effect on the stock price of BTPS. While in the long term, the variables of price to book value, trading volume activity, GDP, Bank Indonesia reference interest rate, and the Jakarta Composite Index had a significant effect on BTPS stock price. And then, the keywords are COVID-19, BTPS shares, VECM, internal factors, and then external factors. Next, the second in the introduction section. In introduction, there are 2 important points. There are the objective of the research. According to Bank Indonesia's 2020 Indonesian Economic Report, the COVID-19 outbreak, which started spreading quickly throughout Indonesia in March 2020, prompted the Indonesia government to implement measures to contain its spread, including large-scale social restriction. However, the consequence of this strategy weakened the national economy. And then, the problem of the research. Islamic capital market has the largest asset contributor, IDR 824 trillion in 2019 and IDR 127 trillion in 2020. Followed by Islamic banking, IDR 528 trillion in 2019, IDR 609 trillion in 2020. The banking sector is the second biggest contributor to the Islamic financial. During 2019 to 2020, Islamic finance industry assets grew rapidly, and the capitalization of Islamic shares started with positive trending growth in April 2020. As of December 2020, 3 Islamic banks have been listed of the Indonesia. And then for the third, the methods. This research utilized secondary data, namely weekly time series data. And this study employs quantitative analysis using the factor method. Pre-estimation tests including data stationary, optimum ledge, VAR stability, and quintegration are conducted. And then the study employs weekly data driven by Basuki's recommendation that time series analysis requires a minimum of 50 observation units. In this case, 105 units will be gathered. The data sources include Yahoo Finance for BTPS share prices and Jakarta Composite Index, while Statistics Indonesia and Bank Indonesia provide gross domestic product, Bank Indonesia interest rates, and US dollar to rupiah exchange rate data. Next, findings and discussion. There are 2 points in this section. For the first, the influence of the company's external factors on BTPS share price. The result of the VECM estimation in this study indicate that TVA has a positive but not statistically significant effect in the short term. In the VECM estimation in this study, it was found that GDP had no significant effect on stock prices in the short term. Meanwhile, in the long term, GDP has a negative and significant effect on the stock price of BTPS. The result of the VECM estimation in this study indicates that in the short and long term, the exchange rate has no significant effect on the stock price of BTPS. And then the influence of company internal factors on BTPS share price. The VECM results show that in the short term, there are no internal company factors that have a significant effect on the stock price of BTPS. Meanwhile, in the long term, only PBV has a significant effect. And finally, the last is conclusion. The IRF analysis indicates stable and positive responses to shocks in EPS at the 27th week, PBV at the 26th week, and GCI from the 9th week. Conversely, shocks in the TVA at the 17th week, GDP at the 20th week, and exchange rates at the 22nd week show stable negative responses. Additionally, shocks in the Bank Indonesia reference interest rate exhibit a positive and stable response at the 16th week. Alright, that's all the journal review from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.